All right, so it started. So Biji, let's start with an introduction, right? So go ahead, give me an idea of what you do and where you're located.
Yeah, thanks, Rejith. I'm based out of Dubai. And currently, I'm running Betroy, which is an technology services company based out of Dubai, Silicon Valley. Prior to this, I was working with a Swiss company called Megit. And before that, almost 15 years with GE, into the GE Power, GE Oil and Gas, and GE Digital. Most of my professional career was around collecting data from machines and industrial assets to monitor the health and come up with predictive diagnostics based on first principles and physics based rules, and architecting sensors, monitoring systems, servers, enterprise software around it. And when I left GE, I was the global project pursuit leader for Middle East, Indian Africa for a specific product line. And my life was mostly around specifications and influencing specifications for large projects. And currently, for the last 4 years, I have transitioned to technology services, my own company. We have a team of 6 people, including some data scientists, AI researchers, project managers, and actual implementers. Primary purpose is to help small and medium businesses to orchestrate their business using the levers of technology, customer experience, and sales innovation. We have subject matter experts in various industries, but primarily we are focused on oil and gas, energy, healthcare, and services.
Awesome. You are located in UAE, right? So how is UAE positioned based on your experience? How is UAE positioned as a hub for AI?
I should say UAE has got this, created this brand of making bold decisions in terms of many things. Everything here is digitized. Most of the governance is digitized, and people can avail any services from phones and from homes without going to and standing in queue anywhere. And in multiple fields, like whether it is coming to energy efficiency or carbon footprint reduction, or whether it is coming to healthcare services, whether it is coming to building data centers, allowing private players to enter into large infrastructure projects, and allowing a lot of foreign direct investments, making regimes easy, tax free most of the time, or very less tax compared to many other regions. It's very easy for anybody to come here and set up their business, and systems are there. Everything is clear how it will be administered, and people feel very safe here. So UAE positioned very well for the next leap. Now, traditionally, the economy thrived from 19, let's say, 70s till recently with oil and gas in this region. But now it is being changed. Now the UAE is positioning as a technology and knowledge center. They are inviting people to come here, and they can work from here to anywhere. They don't need to have job here in the UAE. They can be resident here and work anywhere. They don't pay tax for any money earned here. There is no personal income tax. Healthcare services, infrastructure, telecom, education, all are well set for families to thrive. And because of the excellent infrastructure and facilities, be it roads, bridges, or utilities, etc., people are attracted. Once they come here and experience it, they're attracted to stay here, and they're attracted to see whether how can I take part in this growing place. So I would say UAE is very well positioned, and the government is doing the best to give services. Various sectors are giving various options of, for example, even very small things which we might consider like waiting for 4 days. And if you don't want to wait for 4 days, you can get it in 4 hours just by paying some extra money, by paying some expediting fees. So everything has got a price, but everything can happen here in Dubai very fast.
Awesome. I think one of the advantages that I've seen is also that it's connected well from,
Absolutely.
there's a great airport, and also there is direct flights to so many cities. So when it comes to the different industries, oil and gas and tourism services, they all come to mind. How is it looking from your perspective in terms of AI opportunities?
Oil and gas, for example, the major oil and gas player here in UAE is ADNOC, which is belonging to Abu Dhabi government. And ADNOC have invested in AI companies, and they are routing all their AI projects through their AI company. So they have a stake in the AI company. So that is because they work with a lot of different
Mhm.
players rolling. They're make take like they're not even sitting on the sideline and calling a vendor to do something for them. They are actually actively creating new things. In fact, they are so ambitious that they want to solve their problems, and also they want to help other oil and gas companies to solve their problems based on their experience and data. A company is created called AIQ, where ADNOC is owning 60% of it, and rest is owned by other private players, but they are taking significant steps. So that is in the oil and gas. And you mentioned about hospitality, tourism. So hospitality and tourism, there is no what do you call government directed approach that this has to be the standard. But the government has said that we want to be the happiest city in the world, and they are measuring everything by feedback. For example, you pay an electricity bill, they will ask you how happy are you with this with the service. They'll give you a lot of analytics. How is your bill compared to last month? How is your bill compared to the neighbors who are living in the same kind of houses? So much of analytics are available on your fingertips. And the because government has appointed a happiness minister and a happiness department, so anybody trying to give feedback, and if they come to know that people are not happy, definitely they're going to get a call and say that you have to improve your services. And if they can't, then probably they will bring in somebody else, some other player, because they will not take chances of somebody ruining the reputation which they are building. So that kind of overarching guidance is there for hospitality and tourism, that you have to make people's life happy and you cannot make people suffer. But individual application of AI and technology is left to the private players. And there are enough players, enough companies who are serving those industries, and they're attracting international players as well. And all the international chains are operating here. Hence, they are also bringing in their technology and their best practices here.
Awesome. And I think when it comes to hospitality, I think AI can play a good role because what we have seen is improving customer experience is one of the primary use cases of AI. So when it comes to logistics, being a trade hub, I'm sure logistics plays a big role. What is your take on AI in logistics?
Yeah, you earlier mentioned about Dubai being the hub and multiple airports, and one of the largest airports is just about to open. But at the same time, Dubai also have a lot of ports. So Jebel Ali, one big port, and then you have Ras Al Khaimah. You have it's fully covered by ocean at the edges. So the large ports here. So a lot of logistics or material movement happen, trade happen through Dubai. And Dubai is well connected, as you said, and also Dubai is connected to Asia, Africa, and also to the rest of the world. Hence, there is a huge opportunity here. Now, as AI, there are a lot of things happening. So one is that as soon as you can predict with certain degree of certainty what is going to happen with your shipment, with your clearance, with regulations, there is like predictability. This is how it is going to happen, and it is going to happen. So that is the kind of confidence which they are creating in every sector. So they have already created those systems of customs clearance, scheduling, everything has got a time, everything is already clear. Plus, they have the information which they are gathering data points from various arrival of vessels, arrival of flights, and with the coordination of private agencies as well, people are getting service. In addition to that, I recently met someone here in an event. He said that he is into using technology to wash some goods which are packed. But even if it is packed, if it is left open in the port, it will be covered with dust or dirt. But before it is getting cleared and coming out of the port itself, they are using dry ice. Dry ice is a waterless washing. So basically, it's a solid carbon dioxide crystals used when it is exposed to the surface. It actually becomes gas and it takes away the dirt. So there won't be water, but it will be clean. And they are using drones. They are using drones to do that. So you imagine this is the level at which people are playing. So I'm not saying everything is hunky dory, but I'm saying for a very large extent, you will feel everything is organized, everything has got a process and system, and there is a speed. There's a speed at which things will happen. The excitement is there everywhere. Nobody is like sitting as actually some people don't like the speed of Dubai. Yeah. So yeah, from a logistic point, I think connectivity, the capacity to handle large amount of shipments, and both the sea and the air connectivity to Asia, to Middle East, Central Asia, to Africa, and to India, all that brings a lot of trade to Dubai, and it's getting re-exported.
Awesome. So let's get into some of the implementation challenges, right? So I think the first thing that comes to mind is data residency and compliance, right? When it comes to implementing AI, what is your take on how companies should approach what are the data residency requirements, compliance requirements in a very high level, just to give you an idea?
Yeah. So first of all, there is a huge challenge with respect to people mindset towards AI. One is that like they think that AI is a project rather than not a continuous improvement thing. So they're thinking like AI project. Once I done the AI project, it's done. So that's not the real case. The real case, it is iterative. It is you have to continuously keep at it until it reaches some place where it is where you are happy with the results. So that is one issue that they are thinking that this is a large project. I invest X amount of time and money and it will solve all the problems. So that is one thing. Second thing is that people don't know where to start. And when we start, as part of my assignment in Betra, we do a lot of AI readiness gap analysis studies. And when we do that, we find that people are not even ready with fundamental things for their business. They don't have systems to capture data. They have a lot of data duplication and or data silos. So fundamentally, they are not ready. So those things has to be addressed. And of course, mostly when it comes to regulated industries and connected with governments, that is when the data residency issues come. And now all the major cloud players want going to be here. Microsoft Azure is here and GCP is coming. AWS is around the region, and also the private players like G42 Cloud or other clouds like Moro Hubs and other specific cloud utility providers are also playing. But what I find is that when it comes to small and medium companies, it's not so easy to get access to that cloud because you cannot go and get a small infra from them, all these players. So you are talking about large investment in that case. But data residency, when it comes to data residency, it is better to go with Microsoft Azure or G42, those kind of large players here, not the small cloud providers. And that is what, like, for example, governments are now trying to host like their own cloud and control the data residency by themselves. Like, for example, different Emirates have got different departments, and they would say clouds has to be monitored and managed and the data has to reside. So nobody can go and renew a license from any service provider until go through a nodal agency. So that's how they control it. And there are new standards with respect to privacy, security, and residency, which are coming almost in line with GDPR and other international standards. And people are slowly starting to follow that.
Awesome. So we talked about the challenges, you touched on the challenges, right? One of the things that, and you also talked about an iterative process, right? And one of the things that when we implemented, it's so true that it is iterative. There has to be controls and checkpoints. The human in the loop is a critical thing, right? So are you seeing the awareness in the UAE market where people are aware of these things, and what kind of awareness do they have now? Are there large cloud providers, are they coming in and creating the awareness?
Yes, they are. There is, I would not say that everybody is aware, but I would say that the cloud providers and other technology companies are definitely making their attempt to create the awareness. There are a lot of such programs are happening here, events are happening, organized independently by them, as well as through the various special economic zones or free zones where a lot of companies are getting registered. They are giving a lot of awareness with respect to cloud and security and best practices. So I would say, yes, awareness is there. You have to think about big institutions, right? So big institutions like banks or big departments or people who handle a lot of data, of course they are getting advised by all these major players, and there is enough level of awareness. But when it comes to smaller companies, the awareness may not be that much. It depends on their, they either might be waiting or they might be saying that let things become more clearer, then we will worry about it. And sometimes there are other set of people who are going reckless, who thinks that, oh, AI will do everything, let me give my entire data to AI, let AI do. So that's a small percentage of people who does that also. And they are not understanding that the guardrails or the best parties who are required to actually configure and set up those agents for them to do work, which is like whatever earlier was software, which is now agents. And these agents has to be set up properly by qualified and experienced people who knows various aspects of it, not only the functionality of the agent, but also on the security, but also on the compliance, and how to manage it in such a way to reduce and optimize the cost. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of cost overrun with not only from AI but also from the cloud. So all of these factors sometimes they overlook, and it is worthwhile getting the right people to support you.
Awesome. So, when it comes to the future of AI in UAE, what excites you the most?
It's groundbreaking. I think it is unprecedented change which has happened compared to any other changes ever happened in the human history. The rate of speed of change is mind blowing, and I think that I am very excited to be alive at this time and to watch this and be participating in this for sure. But I see a lot of people are not even aware of what is happening in, and they continue their life as if okay, then nothing. I'm not worried about it. But it's not the question of being worried. It's a, I think it's exciting thing is the opportunity to rewrite a lot of rules of business, opportunity to look at the entire business model completely from a new fresh approach, then opportunity to create brand new customer experiences which is not possible before, like hyper personalized contextual experiences which should have been very expensive to do in the past, can be done very fast and very helpful for people. So it is very exciting to see those changes. And I'm thinking that getting ready for the future where people need not go to work, where people would decide whether I should go to work or not, and money won't be the motivator. Even the definition of money, value of money, and all going to be rewritten, and people are going to think that if I am not motivated to go to work for money, then why should I go? And there has to be reason for that, and the rest, and the interleaving of robots and humans, which is coming, it's going to be very exciting. So I'm really looking forward, with of course with a very optimistic caution. Let's say a little bit of caution, but I'm very optimistic.
So, for IOs and CTOs that are running businesses in the UAE, what do you think their approach should be in terms of identifying the right or the first AI solution?
Yes. Instead of while they can prepare and study what is happening and how things are changing and get into a vision of whatever like version which is coming in the AI world, they can actually look for the best use cases in their business operations, which can be handed over to AI, or AI can augment that particular operation by helping the humans. So, for example, anything which is repetitive, monotonous, tiresome, anything which human will be feel, let's say, fatigued by doing that, all that can be easily handed over to machines, and you can easily calculate the economic benefits by simple math of saving the effort of humans. Second thing, we also have to address that humans are very creative, Humans' brain are very elastic and they can do higher order things than entering data into CRM, extracting data from CRM, reading emails and responding to emails. And we can do much better if we give the heavy lifting to the machines, where we could do huge level of humanness which is now lost because machines have made humans also more like machines, and they're repeatedly doing same thing every day, morning getting up and doing the same thing every day for 10 years. I think that can be changed drastically by giving them higher order things to think how I can add more value, what exactly am I really solving the right problem, rather than doing mechanical stuff which they're doing. And again, when I'm saying mechanical, don't understand that as keeping things in the shelf and taking things from the shelf. No, I'm talking about even knowledge work, even researching, even summarizing, even preparing email, even making analysis, visualizing, presenting. All that stuff is knowledge work, really. Those also can be automated big time, where a human can even go to higher level of work where they can really understand the nuances which they overlook now because they are fed up with this daily routine work. So to answer your question, CIO, CFOs have to look for opportunities which will give the biggest bang for the buck in returns of the investment. And it's not about saving one FTE. It's not about saving 5 people's salary. No, it is about the productivity gain which you can do by augmenting those humans with machines. You can like 100x bring productivity because you are utilizing their brain in a wrong way. You can make them masters of their departments and they can run their departments with machines, and humans will become oversights, overseers of those machines and step in whenever is required, when it goes either wrong or when human required. Identifying those low effort, high impact use cases, which is obvious. You will just by observing your people, what they are doing, and ask them, how are you spending your time? Can you write down in your 8 hour shift? Where did you spend most of your time? And then you get easily things to do.
Good. So now let's talk about Detroit. I know you touched on it a little bit. So to achieve the AI goals, what services do you provide, and how can you help them? Basically, that's the question.
Sure. Yeah. So Betroy is not like a deep tech company. It's more like a services company, which is helping businesses to operationalize AI into their business operations primarily. We might also do into specific automations for a particular industry or a particular factory or a particular business. We might do that also, but primarily what we do is that we go into a deep discovery of their business processes. So we look at their business objectives, then we look at their current operations, how do they get customers, what is their customer journey, how do they give or deliver value to the customers, and in the entire process would they collect feedback, and then we'll say, oh, what kind of internal tech systems they have to enable this, what kind of customer facing tech which they have, customer is interacting to, where is all this data residing, and do they have written down processes of various things, very clear steps, and whether the organization is arranged in a way to make those objectives happen. Are there skill gaps for people? Skill gaps not only in terms of technology utilization, but also on the or process or continuous improvement approaches, etc. So we study all of this. Even though we study all of this, we don't recommend interventions in all these areas. We will not recommend. We will recommend interventions in terms areas of technology, automation, AI, and customer experience, specifically customer experience and sales angle, getting revenue angle. That's all. We will not go into the other areas of finance or other human resources or other aspects of the business. And so we help them to discover those, and then we give them intervention documents, which says that these many interventions are possible. And then we help them to prioritize, take one or two of that, and we get the budget approved. Then we actually execute. And when we execute, we might use a combination of things. We might use Microsoft tools. We might use companies like low touch, like agentic platforms. We might use Jot forms for workflow automation, things which we are proven or we have some kind of control or testing, which we are confident that this is going to work. We might also use third parties. Like, for example, if somebody is using, let's say, Microsoft Dynamics or Salesforce, but they don't know getting value out of it. They are struggling to enter data itself into that, right? For example. So if there is no data, it won't work. So we can help by bringing in people who can help them to overcome those hurdles. We can do change management workshops because the mindset has to change to embrace this thing. So we touch them in a way which will give tangible results in terms of financials. And we do that study before even we implement. Like we say that, okay, by the way, you are going to spend 80K and you are going to get back 80K in 3 months, and you're going to get recurring benefits out of this. And people are willing to, because they know that they have to modernize because somebody else will beat them with more efficient tech or more efficient processes.
All right.
Also, other important thing I want to bring is that there is generational change happening. That's also very interesting, where in spite of all the technology things what we are talking about of space and high tech and data centers and AI, there are a lot of businesses in Dubai and in UAE operating still in Excel sheets and
Mm,
post-it pads,
mm,
and even making tens of millions of dirhams revenue because their businesses are simple. They had 5 customers, 10 customers, and 10 products, and they have long lasting relation. They do volume, etc. But guess what? Now the generational change is happening, and the new generation who is coming to take over, they are not willing to run with what it was doing. So they want dashboards, they want
mm.
data, they want stuff. So this is also another dimension of this modernization, and that is also an angle which I'm finding.
That's great. So that means they could directly go to an AI world rather than
Exactly.
in between, right? Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. Like a lot of series they can cut off and straight away go
Exactly.
to Copilot. Copilot and AI on the machine, private AI and Copilot. They can start from there actually.
Awesome. A great discussion, Biji. Thanks for joining. And what is your, how can people reach you?
Yeah, people can reach out through betroi.com, which is bettroi.com. And there's an AI chatbot. They can chat and they can schedule meetings. They can ask questions. Once they are onto the website, they can read, they can try out few things there. And my contact information is there, or I'm a public person. I'm available on LinkedIn, and my contact information is available on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. I'll try that chatbot too. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And let us know.
Awesome.